Hey guys, and welcome to the Crystalline Podcast, a podcast all about self love, personal growth, and self worth. I'm your host, Summer Clarke, and in today's episode, we're talking about Maslow's pyramid hierarchy. We're talking about Maslow's hierarchy pyramid of needs. The hierarchy pyramid of needs often, you know, the hierarchy of needs is often depicted as a pyramid and is a theory in psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow in 1943, and it is one of the most widely recognized theories in psychology. And this happened to me recently, guys. I forgot how important this is and how much we need it. There are some scientists that have not disproved his work, but have, treated it like it's wrong. I don't believe it's wrong. I believe it's something that we kind of all need and we all need to focus on. It is it's so important, but I'm gonna go into it. Like, you guys can, I can put links down below if you guys really want to, learn more about this, or you can sign up to my newsletter where I go a little bit in depth, a little bit more about this, and how you can use it in your day-to-day life, and you can help set up your own and really analyze that. Like, I could even put on a workshop for you guys to help you do that. So if you want to get involved with that, sign up to my newsletter, you know hit me up in my DMs on Instagram. That would be really great. Boring. Let's get right into this. So the theory suggests that humans, the theory, the theory suggests that Homo sapiens have certain needs that they must fulfill in order to move on to other needs. So important, guys. And I'm going to tell you a story how I recognize that this was fractured. And I said to my friend, it's like, my pyramid of needs has been tampered with. Like, this is a bad thing. So these needs are often set in stone and can be influenced by individuals and experienced cultures. So my story was a mess. Like, my life, it's not been a mess. It's been a mess. No, it's been odd. It's been so odd. And I just don't know, how to, when you're stuck. And I've stood there, and I didn't it wasn't like a voice or anything, but it was a recognition, probably my tuition, my inner self or something. And it basically said that it's your hierarchy pyramid of hierarchy needs, whatever. I always get them mixed up. I'm so sorry. Um and I was like, oh my gosh. And where the bottle shatters, or and you're just like, oh my gosh, the glass breaks, and you're just and you realize that I was like, oh yeah, you're right. And I had found myself in this state where I was super depressed, struggling, not being able to cope with certain situations in life. And if we find ourselves in that moment, you have to really reflect and just check in, take a minute, like recognize these patterns, become aware that actually these might be, you know your little pyramid. And it was like a security that had been stripped away. It was broken. I at the time was having a little bit of a not a tantrum, a little bit of a, not a bicker, what's the word, a squabble with one of my friends. And I was like, why? And why was I behaving like this? Why was I sabotaging this friendship? Why was I going too far. And partly it was because my dog did pass away and I could have been projecting on that. But, um, you know, so that could have been an issue. Um, but I was like, why am I sabotaging these relationships? And then yeah, I just really recognized and noticed that if you don't have the first base of the pyramid, and we're going to talk about it in a minute, if you do not have that first base down, if you are not with yourself together or anything, you will struggle to get to where you want to go. And I was like, I'm not having this because, it's really important for me to, be self-actualized, be at my fullest and highest potential. And that's what this podcast is all about. Like, it's all about getting you to your finest potential, sir or madam. Probably madam. Um, it is super important. So we're going to discuss these needs and why they're important. Um, because you cannot get to one level without doing the other. So I am at like right now, guys, this is like really odd for me, but I am actually vlogging. So I'm not going to do a lot of the videos. I know some people prefer the videos, but there is a lot of count rate on my podcast. And I guess it's because like people put them as background music and like people like, drive and stuff and they don't really want to watch a YouTube video. So I've started to do like lifestyle stuff and it's the most boring stuff. Like don't watch it. It's so boring. But actually is if someone's going through like a business kind of thing, it could be beneficial for you. Kind of like what I'm doing. It's like kind of like my journey and like setting things up and like not sorting my life out, but very much like it's just lifestyle stuff and I'm super aware of how boring my life is. When you start to record it, it's like, oh my gosh, I need a life. No, it's just that I happen to do a lot of work this week. And yeah, so guys, there's 5 levels of this pyramid. And the one I struggled with was psychological needs. And this is the most basic needs you need as a human. Like you need to meet them in order to survive. And this is the one that was fractured. And this is the one I recognized and realized, and like that voice in my head, I don't know who it was. Hope it wasn't me because I don't really just like don't have time to be crazy or go to like an asylum right now. So yeah, so psychological needs. So these are humans, which I just said. Oh, sorry, I just said that. Oh my gosh. So these are like things like food, water, shelter, sleep, and sex. Oh, hello. No. So that one certainly has been. Oh my god. Yeah, and I've not had that one. Anyway, um, so food. The thing was for me was food, and I had accidentally overspent, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have the rest of the pennies. I'm so British. For like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh my goodness. So what have I done? I've literally bought a budget binder and it's because I was not disciplined with it. I bought a budget binder because for me it's like I do have like a food account in my savings, and I'm gonna take that away and use that for something else and have it for my budget binder. But I realized that I'd overspent and I was like, oh fudge, because it's so easily to do. And unless I've got it like physically, I overspent and I was like, oh my goodness, like it's like really, I'm gonna have to go in my savings for like food. And that really sucked. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, and you just don't notice it. And That was crazy. But I noticed, and it really, it does fracture you, and it really like unsettles you. Because I found myself super insecure, struggling, and found like, you know, that was not okay to be in that situation. It's not okay. Fine, I did go into my savings, but it's like that money is for other things like holidays, car repair, just like things like that. But I was like, damn, it's a daisy. It is so important to, find this, gosh, I've actually, it's so funny because I feel like maybe I should put in a class with people that struggle with money and like ways to like budget and find a way around that. And it's so funny that, I mean, I could give the advice all I like, but me doing it for myself is like, ah, crud. Um, but the thing is that I can do it. I just wasn't disciplined, and you should super be disciplined. But I just can't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, where's the pennies? Or like, I don't know what else. Yeah, the pennies. Where are they? But yeah, super important. That one that was fractured, and it was sleep as well because I was getting the worst night's sleep. There was like this guy that was like shouting down the street, like he was, he did have mental health difficulties, and he must have been off his medication. And I got to the point where the police had to get involved to get him, to go back home and be quiet. We want to sleep. So I had like a really, terrible time with that. Um, but it's so important to keep these things in check. Like, always make sure you have food, always make sure you have water, shelter, sleep, and sex. And people cannot get where they want to go if they don't have these, you know? Because when I realized when I sorted it out, I actually felt a lot better. I felt much more secure and safe. So that kind of brings us to our next one, like safety and security. And when you've got those, like those five things, yeah, five things, you can find safety and security, and that is the next level of the pyramid. So once our physiological needs are met, it's such a word, we start to focus on a safety and security needs. So these needs include things like physical safety, financial security, and emotional security. So I'm actually reading a book about emotional intelligence. You can find that in my blog, the ones that I'm reading. A blog. So yeah, so these are things like jobs and, emotional security. So when I found myself in the mess I wasn't doing, and this is all in the blog, guys. I sat down like last Sunday, this Sunday that's just been, and it was a fun Sunday for me because I basically planned out my life in Milanote. I used it as like a timeline thing, everything that I want to achieve and everything that I want to do, I put it there. And I told myself in the week that I was a mess that I really should be doing like my, lifestyle, and I should be treating it as a career. And because I will be self-employed, I want to be self-employed to get to gainfully self-employed to the point where I'm like money, 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 what I mean. Um, and I wasn't treating my lifestyle like that. I was like, like really struggling, like, and I sat there and I got my calendar and I organized my life to be, well, organized and in a way that it's like I felt like I told myself, it's like, you need to be doing work. You need to be treating your life like you're doing work because the struggle is real if you don't. So I was like, okay, let's just trick my brain into thinking it's like I am doing work and it is all like stepping stones and everything. But I had to trick my brain into being like, okay, this is work. So that was gone. Like in that moment of mess, it was like there wasn't an organized schedule for me, but I managed to do it and I do vlog about it as well, like what I did. And there's plenty for me to do. It's like I shouldn't be lying in bed all day. Like I shouldn't be miserable. And at that stage in my life, I was. So, if you're in this situation, plan your life. Like do things, for you and your career and what you want to do, and find some kind of job satisfaction. And that's like really, I know it's really hard to do, but like don't make mistakes and work in McDonald's. No, I'm kidding. um but yeah, so like I just like the pyramid was a mess, and this is why I'm like it's a good thing to go by, but like that's why I kind of believed that his work, Maslow's, Maslow, I say Maslow, um, his kind of work was not, some people are against it, but like, you know, you know what I mean? Um, it was a mess because I had, love and belonging needs, which is the next one. Like I had that, but I didn't have like the first two were tampered with. But I'm like, but how did I have the third level? Because I'm lucky enough to have people that love me, but also that's my family. They have to unconditionally love me, so it kind of probably makes sense actually right now. Because again, I'd rattled one of my friendships, and it wasn't good. Like it wasn't good to do that, and I was like, why am I doing this? I remember asking myself, I said, why am I doing this? Why, and do you know what? I'm not like it is I realized recently that it is okay, and I'm just like, and I was like, the friendship was forced in the first place. I remember it. It was so many years ago. I did force a friendship, and that was goes against Wu Wei, but I obviously didn't know that kind of stuff back then. But I was like I'm okay. Like I was okay with doing it, even though she was in my dream last night with donuts and then a leaky pen. I have to figure out why that was. And we're signing up for karate. Okay, cool. Um, but it's like why? Why did I do that? Why was there a bit of self-sabotaging there? And it was the most petty thing to have a squabble about. It's basically she's bad at communication and I'm impulsive, and that doesn't go well. That doesn't go hand in hand. Um, so yeah, so like the third one is like love, friendship, intimacy, and family. Like it's so strange how all these like building blocks go together and how they really help. And I've always had these in like my pillars, like things to do with my friendships, love, and just like sorting things out with the family. Like today, actually yesterday, my sister sent a picture of her cat because I was like, "Cat, give me your cat." Um, and in the background there was like her family, like a son, her daughter who's a baby, and her husband. They were just all sat there on a phone, and I found that shocking. Except the baby, but the baby was watching TV, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, so I'm gonna go around and play like the blindfold game, which is I'm gonna put the blindfold on, and then I'm gonna try and like find them. Like that's a funny game. Kids love that. They go in hysterics. So Okay, so self-esteem needs. So again, this is what I was doing Sunday. Make a timeline, like look at the blog. Like it's like the first thing I'm doing. I'm like all puffy-eyed and I'm like, let's go. So, um, self-esteem, confidence, achievement, recognition, stats. Like I thrive off this. This is my level. Okay. Um, like I was writing down lists of like goals and achievements and I was putting it on Milano and I was like creating a timeline. I was like, okay, so this is when I want to achieve this is what I want to achieve, and this is when I'm gonna do it in like what order. And that's what I love. Like it's mostly like doing runs. I'm getting my friend to sign up to probably maybe I suggested it that we should do a run. Um we should do a run. When should we do a run? That is for cats. Like one of those ones you sign up to and you get like a medal and stuff. As like you probably just don't have to run. You just give them the money kind of thing. Um, but there's things I want to do and think yeah, like I mean, one was like be an old maid and read to kids, and um right now I'm doing a counseling course, which I'm really happy about. I'm going to do that one, then I'm going to move on to another one so I can practice as a counselor, which I'm really excited about because that's kind of like the dream is to kind of like help people, make a difference in the community, and that's kind of like what I'm doing, and that's on my list of things. Again, I talk about this in the vlog, but I could probably put like a downloadable thing which help you recognize yourself to like create your own story and stuff. Um so there's just so much that like I want, like it's just so much. And um creating achievements is like the best thing. But I want to be a counselor. I like I said in my Oh yeah, guys, I said this in my last episode where I said the possibility of, being, a psychologist, which is what I mean, I still can. I can still go get a doctorate in like something. But I yeah, being like it's never too late. Like we all think like education's for like people in their 20s, like going to college like 18 and stuff, and 17, 18, whatever the age is. But it's not. It's like not the end of the world. Like for me, I've had like the opportunity taken away. Um, but as an adult, I'm getting it back. Like, I said I want to be a therapist. Like that was my thing. That's what I wanted to do. And I actually found a course and I signed up to it. Well, I actually spoke to my aunt about it and she was like, darling, why on earth would you want to do psychology? Why do you want a degree in psychology? You'll make an excellent counselor. And then we went on about it and we found a course and I was like, okay, let's go, let's do this. Um, and I've been doing it, I've been studying it. I just had to go get Tipex. That was my day. I don't know about you, but that was my day. Thrived. It's just living it to the full. Anyway, so and it wasn't the one I wanted. I wanted the correction tape. Um, but it's never too late to do what you want to do. I mean, if you feel like you've made a mistake, that's fine. You can change it. There's nothing out of your hands, okay? Nothing's out of your hands. Again, it's your responsibility, god damn it. So, yeah, so I'm gonna be a counselor, and the dream is to basically, for me, is basically work remotely, and that's been a dream. But I didn't quite know how to do it. I was like, I can do it with this podcast, and it also goes hand in hand. Like I can counsel people, maybe my listeners, and even like just I don't know, random people. I don't, sure. But I was like, the dream is to basically, I can travel and I can sit on a daiquiri like in the corner, and just like if there's an internet connection, I can I probably won't sit on a daiquiri. I can, teach people. Well, not teach people. I I could probably teach people stuff, but that's another thing. I could counsel people. And I was like, how amazing would that be to, like, travel? And as long as there's an internet connection and some daiquiris, I can. I probably won't. I'll just be like, yeah, sure. Oh, so how do you feel about that? And just like on a daiquiri. No, in the corner, just go off camera. Um, but yeah, so I was like, okay, great. So now it's like a status thing that I have. I'm like, okay, so I had like, my degree in marine science, but I never did anything with it because I was like super worried about like, because I want to get a house and you have like a mortgage and stuff. And I was like, the jobs in the marine industry, they are high paying, but they never last. Like a lot of them don't last because you'll find that actually there are a lot of projects. So these projects last like 1 to 2 years, and you do get paid like 40 grand. Like, the lowest paying is like about 25 if you're really unlucky, but it's normally like 30 to 45 on average what you would get paid a year. And then they just only go higher. So to be honest, if I did a couple of jobs in the marine industry, I probably could have got a house. But like again, it's like I want to do my life. Like I don't want to have a boss. Like the only boss, the closest thing I'm gonna have is like the tax office. They're the only people that I'm going to. Who's gonna be like the hierarchy in this situation is like I want to be my own boss, and I will be, and like it all goes hand in hand. Like I'm gonna have quite a few streams of income, which I'm pretty happy about, but to have like a status, is amazing. And I might go get my doctorate and throw the little hat up in the air, the little hat, and with a little tassel. And it's like it's brilliant. You just don't know what's gonna happen, but I am super happy about the choice I've made because it all goes hand in hand. And to have like that status, um, it's great. So that's the Steam needs. That's my Steam needs. I don't know about yours, but that's mine. And sorry, I didn't mean to go on about it, but it's something I'm so passionate about. Like for me, so sorry. So actualization needs. This is where I'm really trying to get people who listen to my podcast. This is where I'm like, guys, you've got potential. Let's find it. Let's like, work through it. And you know what? I could actually coach. Is like I'm not accredited yet to practice as a counselor, but I can coach. That's like a different thing. And guys, if you wanted like help, like I've just been through it and I got out of it in like a few days. Like, so that's how amazing I am to help you guys. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, if you guys wanted like help with it, just contact me. Like DMs, like there's a link tree that I have. I don't have a website anymore, I just have a link tree and you can contact me. I would probably use the contact form because I'm struggling to get um the DNS working on my email. It's really annoying me. Um, so I just need to figure out a way around that. So yeah, just do the contact form if you see a contact form rather than an email. Okay? Or just, find me on Instagram. It's fine. So self-actualization needs. This is the highest level of the Maslow hierarchy is self-actualization. The need is the drive to reach our full potential and become the best version of ourselves. Now, yeah, great. And again, like I feel like maybe this pyramid is like an atom and it's bouncing all over the place. But I feel like maybe, there was another guy's theory that didn't just prove Maslow's work, but he said it's not completely and entirely correct. And I can't remember his name, and I feel like I should probably um wrote it down, but it sprang to mind at the beginning of the podcast. So, so this all this pyramid is human motivation, and it can be applied in various situations, such as understanding why people work, why they buy certain products, and why they behave in certain ways. So it really, it's like such a handy tool to reflect and look back. And again, like I said, if you do need help, like maybe we could have like a one-to-one, like a coach, and just find out like, your potential. And like this is what the podcast is all about. Like if you read the description, it's all about like, actualizing your potential, which is what I thrived off. I was like, damn, this is my jam, this is my cup of tea, this is just it for me, this is my thing. um Helping people, just recognize their worth, and this is what the podcast is all about. And I completely forgot about it until, that little voice going, it's your needs. um but yeah, like if you guys need, help with that, just contact me, like on my link tree. I don't know, there's always been a debate where I should just get a nicer little website thing, but I've always just been like, no, because the link tree works on desktop, and I will be able to put some products up there when I'm ready. And there'll be like little things, like cute little things. So guys, don't forget, like, sign up to that newsletter. You'll find that on my link tree. And, feedback. There's a feedback form that should be on there. That is also on my link tree. Um, that is gonna help with this podcast so much if you, take the time. I think there's like 5 questions. Take the time to, um, you know, have your say on this podcast. That's helping me with my market research, so I'm, find ways to improve, and just, everything. And I think there's an email, like, for you to give me your email, and that you will be entered in a prize draw. You will probably be put on the newsletter, so sorry. You can opt out of it if you want. um but yeah, you can, like, you'll win a free journal as well. Like, if you guys have been listening to the journey and everything, I've been creating journals, and that, like, part of it is in my vlog actually, and there will be a vlog on it. So please, follow me on YouTube if you guys want to, find out more about that. That is the Crystalline Podcast, obviously. And I don't know when the vlog will be out. Soon, I guess. I have no idea. I'll have to edit it. It will probably be out like next week or something, just when it gets done. But that would really be so helpful if you guys could leave that feedback for me. And yeah, you'll be entered into a prize draw to win a cute little journal, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to launch, but because I'm doing my course, I can't launch it yet. So we're gonna wait a few more weeks, maybe in the summer, that I'm going to launch my journal. I'm so excited. Guys, I can't wait. But thank you. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Crystalline Podcast. Please, subscribe to, we are on Pinterest. We're not active on Pinterest, but we're on there sometimes. And mostly on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Google, Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram. Like, that's me on Instagram. So, and we're working on our Instagram, because right now, like, if you guys follow, like, look at the vlog, you'll be like, oh yeah, she's actually creating a content plan and stuff. So yeah, so please follow me on everything that you possibly can. Probably not in real life though. I don't want to be a baby reindeer. No, thank you. So I wouldn't, because I have golf clubs and, like, I'm insane. But please don't hesitate to contact me if you want to know more about, like, one-to-one, like, coaching. I can help you if you are stuck right now with your pyramid of needs. Like, I really just want to help people out. and take the money. No, I'm kidding. But I just really want to help people out, and I'm super excited about everything. So please stay tuned, please follow my journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I've been your host, Summer Clarke, and this has been the Crystalline Podcast. Thank you so much.